What if I told you that drones, high above ancient ruins or deep in uncharted territories, have uncovered secrets so chilling they could rewrite everything we know about history? Imagine a colossal sculpture hidden in the mountains for millennia, or a creature that eats stone instead of wood. From ancient civilizations to unexplained phenomena, drones are revealing mysteries that defy the limits of our imagination. What if everything we thought we knew about the past is wrong? Stick with me, because in today's episode of Arcane Universe, we'll dive deep into these discoveries that are as mind-bending as they are terrifying. Trust me, some of these findings might just haunt your nightmares. First, we'll uncover the mystery of Lady Molly, a giant ancient sculpture carved into the side of a mountain, possibly older than any known civilization. Then, there's the stone-eating snail, an evolutionary anomaly that challenges everything we know about nature. But that's not all. We'll also explore the infamous E.T. video game disaster and even a strange, alien-like object washed ashore in Russia. These discoveries force us to question the world around us and the truth. It might be stranger than fiction. The Lady Molly discovery. A towering figure carved into the side of a mountain, standing tall at 150 meters. Could this ancient sculpture be proof of a forgotten civilization, or is it simply a natural formation? Let's uncover the mystery of Lady Molly. The Lady Molly discovery is one of the most intriguing mysteries that has surfaced in recent years. It's a massive sculpture, nearly 150 meters tall, carved into a mountainside near the Guinea border in West Africa. From a distance, the head of the figure is all that's visible, giving it an almost eerie, otherworldly presence. Its proportions suggest it might have once been part of a much larger structure, but only the head remains intact, weathered by time. The figure, which many describe as resembling a woman of striking beauty, is surrounded by natural formations, which adds to the mystery. Some argue that it could simply be a product of wind and water erosion over the course of millennia. But others, including geologist Angelo Pittone, believe that this formation could be over 20,000 years old, possibly even older. Pittone points to geological evidence of displaced rock layers, suggesting human hands may have had a role in its creation. This leads to the tantalizing possibility that the sculpture was made by a lost civilization, perhaps one that was far more advanced than what we typically attribute to prehistoric societies. When I think about Lady Molly, I can't help but wonder, how much of our history has been lost to time? What if this statue is just a fragment of a civilization that knew far more than we can even begin to comprehend? Every time I look at ancient ruins or mysterious artifacts, I wonder how much we've forgotten, how much we've been denied. Could there be ancient knowledge buried somewhere out there, waiting to be uncovered? The very idea is both exciting and unsettling. It makes me reflect on how much we might still be blind to in our modern world. Let's take a look at another example, Atlantis. We've all heard the legend of this fabled city, but could it have been real? In the ancient texts of Plato, he describes a highly advanced civilization that existed thousands of years ago and then mysteriously vanished. Some scholars believe the story of Atlantis could be based on real events, perhaps the destruction of an ancient civilization lost to time, much like Lady Molly's mysterious origins. It's these connections that make me question how much of history is really lost and how much is hidden. The debate over Lady Molly's origins is far from settled. Is it just a curious natural formation, or is it a man-made sculpture that has survived the ages? If it's the latter, it could be one of the oldest examples of monumental human art. Some argue that civilizations in prehistory weren't as sophisticated as we think, but others insist that we've only scratched the surface of what they may have achieved. Lady Molly challenges these assumptions, and for me, it's a reminder that history is often written by the victors, and the lost civilizations might have had their own version of reality that we'll never fully grasp. The stone-eating snail. Imagine a snail that doesn't munch on leaves or wood, but instead eats stone. How is this even possible? Let's dive into the world of the stone-eating snail and how it's rewriting our understanding of evolution. This discovery of the Litrio dabatun, a snail species native to the Philippines, is truly mind-blowing. Instead of sticking to its usual diet of wood, this snail consumes limestone, carving out tunnels within the rock. Scientists had no idea that such a thing was even possible, as snails are typically known for their wood-eating habits. This behavior not only defies evolutionary expectations, but it also opens up entirely new avenues for how life can adapt to its environment. What's even more fascinating is that the snail's digestive system seems specifically designed for this unique diet. The creature's wide, shovel-shaped teeth allow it to grind the limestone, and it creates a labyrinth of tunnels through the rock. The tunnels themselves serve as habitats for other creatures, like crabs and shrimp, which thrive in this limestone environment. It's a bizarre and unexpected ecosystem that has scientists scratching their heads. Every time I encounter something like this stone-eating snail, it forces me to rethink what we understand about evolution. We often view evolution as a slow, gradual process, with creatures adapting to their environments over millions of years. But what if the adaptations are far more immediate, far more unpredictable than we thought? Could this snail be an example of rapid, specialized evolution that's happening in real time? It really makes me wonder what other surprises the natural world has in store for us. Look at the axolotl, for example. This tiny salamander is known for its regenerative abilities. It can regrow entire limbs and even parts of its brain. It's a biological marvel that challenges our understanding of how life can adapt and recover. Or consider the deep-sea creatures that have evolved to survive in complete darkness, developing bioluminescence or other traits to cope with their harsh, lightless environments. The stone-eating snail feels like it's part of this same group of amazing evolutionary oddities, pushing the boundaries of what we thought was possible. What the stone-eating snail teaches us is that nature isn't limited by the rules we set for it. It constantly surprises us. If we remain curious and open to the unknown, we might uncover more than we ever imagined. Evolution is not a simple linear progression. It's a messy, unpredictable process, full of strange and wonderful exceptions. The E.T. game disaster. The video game industry nearly collapsed because of one catastrophic failure. E.T. the Extraterrestrial wasn't just a bad game. It was a symbol of everything that went wrong in the early 80s. But what can we learn from it? In 1983, Atari released E.T. the Extraterrestrial, one of the most infamous failures in video game history. Developed in just 6 weeks to coincide with the release of the film, the game was rushed out with little time for testing, and it showed. The gameplay was confusing, the graphics were subpar, and critics tore it apart. But the real disaster came after the game was released. Millions of unsold cartridges piled up, and Atari found itself in the middle of a commercial collapse. For years, the unsold E.T. cartridges became the stuff of legend, with rumors of them being buried in a landfill in New Mexico. These rumors persisted for decades, until in 2014, a team of archaeologists uncovered thousands of the cartridges, confirming the urban legend was true. The discovery wasn't just about a failed video game. It was a window into the collapse of an industry that was once unstoppable. For me, the E.T. game disaster is a reminder that failure isn't always the end. Sometimes it's just the beginning. It's easy to look at a massive failure like this and see it as a setback, but what it really represents is a turning point. The video game industry learned valuable lessons from this, and out of the ashes of E.T., we saw the rise of better designed, more sophisticated games. In some ways, that disaster helped pave the way for the industry we know today. Look at the invention of penicillin. It was discovered by accident when Alexander Fleming noticed that a mold had killed bacteria in one of his petri dishes. That was a massive failure in the sense that he wasn't expecting to find anything, but it revolutionized medicine. It's the same idea. Sometimes failure leads to the greatest breakthroughs. The E.T. game teaches us that failure isn't something to fear, it's something to learn from. Sometimes, the most embarrassing failures end up being the most significant milestones in our growth. The road to success is often paved with setbacks, so embrace them. The Russian beach monster, a mysterious, alien-like object washed ashore in Russia, sparking theories of extraterrestrial involvement. But what if it's just one more piece in a larger puzzle of unexplained phenomena? In 2000, a bizarre object washed up on a beach in Russia. Locals were quick to label it an alien artifact, given its strange, almost mechanical appearance. The object was unlike anything anyone had ever seen before, and it sparked wild theories about extraterrestrial life. Some suggested it could be a crashed UFO or a piece of alien technology, while others believed it was some kind of military experiment gone wrong. After some investigation, the true origin of the object was revealed to be far less exciting. It turned out to be a piece of abandoned machinery, possibly from a Soviet-era space program. However, the fact that the object sparked so much speculation about aliens shows just how far our imagination can run when we encounter the unexplained. Whether it's a UFO, a mysterious creature, or an unusual object, we tend to see what we want today. We've traveled from the eerie heights of Lady Molly's giant ancient sculpture to the strange stone-eating snail that rewrites the rules of evolution. We've revisited one of the most notorious failures in gaming history with the ET game disaster, and even explored a mysterious beach monster that ignited theories of extraterrestrial life. Each of these discoveries challenges our understanding and reminds us just how much is still out there waiting to be uncovered. Maybe we haven't figured out the whole story of our planet or our past yet. These discoveries, these mysteries aren't just fascinating. They're a call to stay curious. They remind us that the world is far stranger and more complex than we could ever imagine. What other secrets are hiding just beyond our grasp? Perhaps the truth is out there, waiting for someone bold enough to uncover it. And if you're hungry for more of these mysteries, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Because on Arcane Universe, the unknown is always just one discovery away.